Today we have a list of sales figures for two regions, the South region and the North region, for various sort of named people, for various salespeople. What we'd like to do today is take a look at this list and summarise the data in terms of total sales for South and total sales for the North regions. An easy tool that we can start using to summarise data and present data is a pivot table. So if I just click a single cell within that region, I can go to pivot table, which is on the insert tab, and pivot table. Because I've clicked that single cell within the data set there, it selects all that data for me, and I just need to now make the decision: do I want my pivot table, my summarising presentation, to be in a new sheet or the existing sheet? I'll choose the new sheet, so we should have sales here, which is where our data is, and soon we should have another sheet, sheet 1. So if I go OK, there we have our new sheet, actually sheet 2 in this case. So here's where our pivot table is going to go, and over here is the list of the original headings for the list. If I just go back to our list, we've got name, region, quarter and total as the headings, and we have those field headings here as 2. So if I want to summarise the data for South and North sales, that's in the region field. So if I choose region, we start to get the North and South shown there as row labels. If I look here, if you see here, the region now shows in this window. Excuse me. And if I want to find out the total for the regions, I choose the total heading or the total field. That goes into the value window here. But you should see here now that we have North total sales of 92 and South total sales of 42. So to very quickly summarise data, we can use a pivot table. To look a little further into that, if I choose quarter, I can now get a breakdown for the North and a breakdown for the South by quarter. And if I just move this over here into the column label window, the quarters are now column headings rather than row headings. So we see the same data but presented differently. So we might say that we've pivoted the data, and this is where the term pivot table comes from. So if I pivot back again, same data, just pivoted and presented differently. So this is where the term pivot table comes from. And one last thing, now that we're in pivot table here, we've got two brand new ribbons, the options ribbon for the pivot tables and the design ribbon. I can quickly start to customize the pivot table, make it look like I want to myself. If I spend a bit of time in the design ribbon here, I can, that's the default there, but I can maybe choose, I don't know, this one perhaps. And I've very quickly started to customize the look of my pivot table to suit me. So, in summary, if you have a list, like so, with headings across the top, and you want to present that data and summarize that data, a useful tool is pivot tables. We can find the pivot table feature on the insert tab, and we can insert a pivot table. We inserted the pivot table into a brand new sheet, in this case sheet 2, and we can choose the headings that we want to see in our pivot table by checking them on here, and we can pivot the data to show the same data but in different ways, just by moving the data between different windows.